about
Yours?
uh,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, I'm like, I have the analgesic downstairs.
Well, for those that were here before, welcome back. If not, this is to continue on. We started our meeting at 6:30. We started the meeting, went into camera. We're now back into full session. I'll ask the clerk, Mrs. Pearson, for the mayor's rise and report, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. So council did meet in closed session regarding property item 01 of 2026, Plan 16, Part Lot 30, Part Lot 29, Registered Plan 25R 1371, Part 3. Council provided direction to the bylaw enforcement and property standards officer to return to council with a future date to further discuss this property, and at this time, no action be completed.
Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. Moving on, I'd like to ask council, there's a motion to adopt the minutes of February 23rd. I'll ask for a move and a seconder to put that motion on the floor for discussion. Moved by Councillor Hyatt, seconded by Councillor Clark. Any discussion regarding those minutes, errors or omissions? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us now to the Planning and Development meeting held on February 23rd. You have a motion before you. Again, I'll ask for a move and a seconder to put that on the floor for discussion. Moved by Deputy Mayor Field, seconded by Councillor Patel. I will ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and file as information notes of the February 23rd, 2026 public information session held regarding the zoning bylaw amendment for municipally known addresses 260 and 272 Eureka Street in the Town of Petrolia.
Any discussion? If not, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us now to a moment of reflection. I'll ask everyone to please stand. Thank you. Please be seated. That'll take us now to the roundtable announcements. And tonight we start with Councillor Hyatt, please.
I have nothing to share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Patel.
Nothing to share at this time.
Thank you. Councillor Welsh.
Nothing this evening.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Clark.
No, I don't have anything either.
Wow, thank you. And we'll go to Deputy Mayor Field.
peer pressure. I have nothing.
Well, it just so happens I have a few things right here. I attended the Sarnia-Lambton Chamber of Commerce annual meeting held on Wednesday, February 25th in Sarnia. It was a good event and well organized. I also took part in the St. Clair Region Conservation Authority annual general meeting held in Newberry on Thursday, February 26th. It was well attended and the new executive members were appointed for the year. Excuse me. I also attended the volunteer dinner and awards at the Petrolia Legion on Thursday, February 26th. It was a great meal and a fun night. I'd like to thank all of the volunteers on behalf of council and staff. I did that, and as our tradition, I recognize some outstanding individuals that have truly gone above and beyond for 2025 and read what they were involved with. The volunteers were Pam Bradshaw, Mrs. Titania Brophy, Mrs. Joy Smith, and the other individual will be announced later on in the agenda. Deputy Mayor Joel Field and Councillor Clark were also in attendance. Special thanks to Mrs. Larissa Ellsworth, Director of Marketing, Arts, Communication, Mrs. Julie Bullock, Director of Parks, Recreation Facilities, and Mrs. Tara Wagner, Marketing and Special Events Associate, and all other volunteers responsible for this great event. I attended the Lambton County Council Committee meeting held on Wednesday, March 4th, and will continue to keep council informed. I brought greetings on behalf of council and staff for the town of Petrolia at the LKDSB at the welding competition hosted by LCCVI on Friday, March the 6th. It started at 8 a.m. and ran to 2:30 p.m. for the awards and closing remarks. It was a great event and well organized, and I presented the second place winner. I attended the State of Lambton Business Breakfast at the Point Edward Arena Hall on Thursday, March the 12th. This is held once a year when each mayor and First Nations chief is requested to speak for up to 10 minutes on what is happening in their community. It went very well with a full house. I spoke for the entire 10 minutes. I have my speech and PowerPoint available for anyone wishing to read it. And Mr. Charlebois, CAO Treasurer, was also present. I attended the Fraud Awareness and Scam Prevention Night at Victoria Hall on Thursday, March the 12th, hosted by the Lambton OPP Auxiliary. It was a full house and very well attended. Mrs. Mandy Pearson, Director of Legislative Services, Deputy Operations Clerk, was also in attendance. I also attended the Air Canada bus from Chris Hadfield Airport to Pearson International Airport announcement on Friday, March the 13th. There will be 2 trips a day starting in mid-June. There was a good turnout, and Mr. Rick Charlebois, CAO Treasurer, was also present. I feel this is great news for Lambton County. And also, we stood out to get our picture in front of the bus in probably one of the worst snowstorms this year, but we did it. I also brought greetings on behalf of the council of the town of Petrolia staff and thanked the volunteers for the cooking group who prepare meals to the Petrolia Community Refrigerator at the United Church. Mr. Larry Lackey was the PCR volunteer who emceed the event and presented the members with a special apron. The event was held at the church basement on Tuesday, March the 17th. And none of us had any meals. They were all given to the people that needed them or came in later on. I attended the Sarnia Lambton After 5 event on Wednesday, March the 18th, and brought greetings on behalf of council and staff. It was held at the Two Water Brewing Company in Corunna. It was a well-attended and a good time had by all. And that's all I have. That'll take us on now to the different appointed councillors representing the different committees. First on my list is the Petrolia Heritage Advisory Committee. We have on that as Councillor Welsh and the new appointed member, Councillor Patel, who just was effective in March. So I will turn it over to Councillor Welsh if you'd like to speak to that, please.
Nothing exciting to report, except we are very happy to have moved our items into the vault at Scotiabank, where we can actually get into our archival items and organize them and see them.
And that's great news, Councillor Wells. I'm pleased with that. And there is a motion before you. Would you like to move that we approve the motion? And that's for the minutes held on February the 4th. Moved by Councillor Wells. I'll need a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Clark. Any discussion regarding those minutes? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us on to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We have Councillor Clark and Councillor Hyatt. And which one of you gentlemen would like to speak to that? Councillor Clark, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. The minutes relatively speak for themselves. We got a good listing of the upcoming events from Mrs. Ellsworth. And we did hear from our Youth Advisory Subcommittee. And they are still actively seeking some additional members to keep that rolling through with some of their members graduating and that sort of thing, moving on to university out of town.
Yeah,
They're still actively recruiting some more members.
good. And would you like to move that motion before you? And that's for
Absolutely.
the minutes held on March the 4th. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Patel. Any further discussion on those minutes? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. I'll try and remember to get these motions read.
Okay.
That'll move us on to the Lambton Group OPP Detachment Board. Maybe I'll come back to that when Deputy Mayor Field is back, because he sits on the police board, unless you'd like to speak to that.
Whatever your preference is, Your Worship.
We'll wait. I'll come back to that. All right, let's go on to correspondence, and I will come back to that when the Deputy Mayor Field returns. I'll go to 13. We have A to H correspondence items. I'd like a mover and a seconder to put that on the floor for discussion. And any,
And Your Worship, I did have an item that just before we started council, 2 items to be pulled up to be heard separately.
okay, which ones are they?
Items D and E.
D and E. Okay, so I'll ask for motion to approve the correspondence from A to H except for D and E. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Patel. Any discussion on those items? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Now we'll go to D. And who would like to speak to D? And that's regarding Point Edward's sustainable police funding. Councillor Welsh, go ahead.
It's Prince Edward. Yeah, so I would like us to support this, this resolution from their council and send our support to them.
Okay, moved by Councillor Wells. I need a seconder. Need a seconder to put that on the floor to carry on. Seconded by Councillor Clark. Any discussion regarding that? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us to E, and that's in regarding the Town of Whitby request for a comprehensive review of the provincial municipal fiscal framework. Did we do that already at all, Mrs. Pearson?
Not to my recollection, your worship, but
Okay.
I'll ask our treasurer. I don't believe that surfaced with us before.
Okay, who would like to speak to that? Councillor Wells, go ahead.
I would also like us to support this resolution for a comprehensive review of the provincial municipal fiscal framework.
I'll need a seconder for that. Seconded by Councillor Patel. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. All right, well, just, I did move ahead, Deputy Mayor Field. We'll go back to the police, the Lambton Group OPP Detachment Board. We have a motion there. Would you like to speak to that first?
Sure. Thank you, and I apologize.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, our meeting was in preparation for the fraud presentation that we had here at the town hall, which you attended. And I was on vacation at the time, or I would have. As well, they mentioned about the auxiliaries having their recruitment here. And I think both of those went very well. We had a good meeting. Our last meeting had members of Walpole Island, First Nations there as well, as they're looking to start their own police service board, and they wanted to see how ours functioned. So it was a good joint meeting. So
Thank you,
yeah, that's it.
Deputy Mayor Field. And as I had mentioned earlier, there was a great turnout for that fraud session. I was impressed. There's a motion before you. Would you like to approve that? Moved by Deputy Mayor Field. I need a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Welsh. Any discussion regarding those police minutes? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us on now to, there's, as far as correspondence, there is none at this time. That'll take us to delegations and presentations. We have A, the 2025 Lambton Trails Committee. We have Mrs. Felicia Cooper, Petrolia's appointed representative. Would you like to come forward, please? And welcome.
I have been told I have a tendency to speak fast, so if that happens, please do not hesitate to tell me to slow down. So first and foremost, good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me. Thank you for this opportunity to provide a brief update on the Lambton County Regional Trails Advisory Committee and highlights of our 2025 season. One of the committee's ongoing initiatives.
Sorry, speak right into the mic because it's being taped so we can hear you. Yeah,
Got
thank
it.
you.
One of the committee's ongoing initiatives is the redesign of the county's trails map. A dedicated subcommittee has been working toward a more user-friendly and comprehensive resource with a target completion date of the end of 2026. As part of that process, I've been working with that committee on behalf of Petrolia Trails Committee to correct information related to the Petrolia trail systems at Bridgeview Park. The goal is to improve clarity around access and boundaries, which we hope will reduce the recent issues with trespassing and vandalism on the Petrolia Discovery property. Over the course of 2025, the committee has also taken a step back to evaluate its broader purpose and effectiveness. Through that process, it became clear that our current bylaws may no longer reflect an up-to-date, clear, and practical mission. As a result, the committee is moving toward updating its guiding framework to better align with present-day needs and opportunities. To support this, we will be hosting a planning meeting at 162 Lock Hill Street in Sarnia on Thursday, May 15th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. bringing together stakeholders from across the county to share input and help shape the future direction that the committee's work will take. Closer to home, we've also heard directly from members of the Petrolia community regarding regarding the current and future state of local trails and the town's walkability. A consistent theme has been a sense of concern tied to several recently approved development projects, including the subdivision of east of First Ave, the development of County View Drive Woodlot, and the coming townhomes on Eureka Street. Residents are expressing anxiety that these developments may move forward without sufficient consideration given to keeping the town walkable and environmentally healthy as it grows. In particular, concerns have been raised about increased traffic on streets such as Glenview, where existing infrastructure like the narrow bridge and lack of sidewalks may not safely accommodate that growth. More broadly, there is a shared desire within the community to ensure that Petrolia retains a small town charm while it continues to grow. Many residents are advocating for new developments to prioritize critical infrastructure, including sidewalks and integrated trail systems, as part of a long-term vision for a healthy, connected, and vibrant community. On behalf of Petrolia Trails Committee, I would also like to take a moment to extend sincere thanks and gratitude to the Rotary and Lions Service Clubs for their ongoing support. Their contributions have been instrumental in advancing local trail initiatives and continue to play a meaningful role in enhancing our community spaces. Thanks again for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll open it up to council. Any questions from council? Deputy Mayor Field, go ahead.
Yeah, through you. Very good presentation, and you spoke very good. So, good work. No, that's great. We appreciate you updating us.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions from council? Seeing none, thank you for coming to address council. Good luck. And you didn't speak too fast.
That's great. Staff perspective, may I add?
Sure, go ahead.
So Felicia, we do have, council actually gave a directive for a sidewalk connectivity study. So if you like, just remind me and I'll forward you that connectivity study.
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. Okay. Thank you again for coming to address council. Okay, on our agenda, the Mr. Dewhurst, as the clerk stated earlier, that'll be postponed for another meeting. And the Tourism Sarnia Lambton question and answer, that too will be at a later meeting. That'll move us on now to D, which is a delegation from Jacobs Wastewater Treatment Plant annual report. I'd like to ask Mr. Bloomfield and Mr. Daly to come forward, please. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. 2025 was a very good year at the wastewater treatment plant. We treated about 621,000 meters cubed, which is actually down from the last couple of years. And that's mostly just due to a more drier season. The waste plant itself only had 4 times when we didn't meet our objectives, that being in February, March, and April, and December, and all 4 of those were phosphorus related. We met or we were under our limit, so there was no cause for concern for any of those. We did have at the beginning of the year, we did have a major repair again on our filter system. And we were notified today again that there's going to be needing repairs again on that system. As for the rest of it, we're at about 31% capacity, which is well within our means for growth. And then other than that, if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them for you.
All right, well, thank you. And we have got your report. We reviewed the report. I will open it up to council to see if we have any questions. Councillor Welsh, I knew that you would come forward. I knew you wouldn't disappoint me. Go ahead.
I had just asked, I'd asked them, they've had these questions in advance. I don't like to surprise people. why the influent was down so much, and you did explain that already. But because we have a separate system for stormwater and wastewater, I was curious as to why that would have an effect on our wastewater treatment plant.
Go ahead.
For
Yeah.
your worship. So in those bigger rain events that we've been seeing over the last couple of years, especially in 2023 and 24, there's so much rain that those storm drains get overloaded or they get blocked. That builds up water on the road going into the sewer system, as well as what we call I&I, or inflow and infiltration. And this is when your collection system either has a small leak or there's groundwater getting into it. And the biggest culprit is home sump pumps that are connected into the sanitary system when they shouldn't be. And it greatly affects how much inflow we get in those storms. So
There's more.
Do you have another one?
Sure.
Okay. Please
I wanna-
direct your questions through the chair.
Through you. I had a question about the alarm systems that are on the pumping stations and whether they were tested, particularly Country View, as it seems to be an older one.
Your worship, I'll let Derek answer.
No, yeah, please, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor. We test our pump station alarms monthly, and Country View is a little bit older. I think it was 2012 it was put in, and it still works every month when we test it.
Great, thank you. Go ahead.
For you. What recommendations could you make to the residents that would help with the efficient operation of our wastewater treatment plant?
Go ahead.
Worship.
Yeah.
So as I had mentioned, there is our fats, oil, and grease notification that I believe gets sent out on an annual basis to the residents, and that's just making sure that they're not flushing any sort of greases, oils, and fats down the drains. It tends to really kind of clog up once it hits the collection system, as well as their lateral. It's in their best interest not to. But that, that notice is something that, helps us out. We actually don't see a lot of it, but so it must be working. And then the other one, as I had mentioned in my email there, is about actually I&I. So neighboring municipalities, what they have done is actually develop what they call kind of a disconnect service that the municipality runs. And what this involves is kind of going into properties with a bylaw officer, checking out whether their sump pumps are connected to the sanitary or not. And then if they are, working with the homeowner to get that disconnected at no cost to them. The benefit there is that you're going to reduce the amount of flow coming into the waste plant. Therefore, you're not going to spend as much money on electricity running, less on chemicals, and less on call-outs, because there's going to be less of that influent water coming in emergency situations. So it does kind of weigh itself out, and it just kind of benefits everybody. So that's something that you can maybe kind of look into in the future, but
Can do that. I just wanted to, sorry, Councillor Welch, are you still going or are you finished?
No, I'm happy with all their answers. Thank you. I love reading those
Okay.
reports.
I just want to mention, it was really nice. We figure you see no complaints in 2025. I think, how do you do that?
yeah.
They come to us, no.
Any other questions from council? If not, I'd like to ask for a motion. Oh, sorry.
I actually do have a question, just something
Oh.
that Mr. Bloomfield noted, if that's all right with you.
Sure, go ahead.
Your I&I disconnect, there was a grant program that the province offered that was an incentive. Do you know if I remember reading about it several years ago. Do you know if they still offer that grant program?
Not sure myself.
Okay.
Can you check into that
Yeah,
and look
we
into
can
that
look
for
into
us, please?
those, yep.
Okay. And I'm sure we'll certainly take your thoughts under consideration with Mr. Thompson. And I know we did do a number of times, we've gone to each individual house over the years to stop like even the eave troughs going into the sewers and disconnecting, and they went to every house. Oh, it's been going on for probably 30 years, but that's something we could probably still look at as well. If there's nothing else, I'd like the motion to adopt his report. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Welsh. Any further discussion regarding the report? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming to address council.
Thank you for having us.
I'll try and get you to read one yet.
It's okay.
All right, that'll move us on to community announcements. There's a motion before you. I'll ask for move and a second to put that on the floor for discussion, please. Moved by Councillor Hyatt, seconded by Councillor Clark. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the council of the town of Petrolia to receive as information only the March 23rd, 2026 community announcements as presented.
Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. I'll try and remember that on the next ones. Mrs. Ellsworth, as usual, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Just that the community theater is here this week, Your Worship, and gee, ma'am, you're prettier than my horse takes the stage on Thursday, and it's selling really well, so don't wait. Yeah.
I'm really getting beat up today from all angles.
Well, I won't ask you to speak to it then. All right, there's a motion before you've heard that. Any discussion regarding that motion? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Now, that'll take us on to, we have the Volunteer of the Year 2025 Community Service Award presentation. I've got a couple things I'd like to read first. At our volunteer dinner, as a tradition, I always recognize some outstanding people that have truly gone above and beyond for Petrolia in 2025, and one individual was unable to take part at the Legion. Volunteerism is one of the most important factors in the community building, and Petrolia is among the most fortunate for the number of volunteers and the number of hours that those people share with our community. Petrolia has a way to bring people together, whether it's to come home to visit, come back to stay, or simply live nearby and wish you were here. This recognition is for someone that has a focus on giving back in building a better Petrolia and deepening relationships. The Royal Canadian Legion Branch 216, the Community Refrigerator, the CEE Hospital Auxiliary, the IODE, and the Victoria Playhouse Petrolia have all benefited from the generosity of both her time and spirits since she returned home. Deborah Walker, it is my pleasure to call you a resident again and thank you for your tireless generosity. And I'd please like to have you come forward. And I'd also like to ask Mr. Charlebois and Mrs. Ellsworth to come forward as well, please. Heard that before. Remember when I hired you for 1991.
94.
Oh, yeah. Remember back in 72.
We're just gonna make the presentation. Oh,
Oh, everybody smile. We could all be on the camera.
That's right.
okay. Congratulations, and welcome back.
Thank you for my school days.
First of all, I have to apologize for my exit at the volunteer function. escorted exit actually. And I want to thank the people that are in this room. Who kindly were there to help when I was in need. So this brings me to this point. So mayor, council, staff, and community, I am very humbled at this honor. I want to thank this community for welcoming me back, and especially to the organizations who've allowed me to be part of the community efforts. The community fridge, where I assist with cooking and offer support to the special needs members of Ruth's Place. VPP for ushering, taking out tickets, scanning, standing outside and pushing a button so people can safely walk across the street. But mostly to be able to spend special time in this wonderful place that I call home, and that's Victoria Hall. Town committee events at the beer tents and in Art in the Park. CE Auxiliary, where I am the public relations person and event assistant. IODE's event assistant and the first and new tart wearer. And one of the lists that was organizations that was not on this list is the Petrolia Discovery. I have an opportunity to help with their bingos, and I'm grateful for that, and an antique sale. At the Legion, of course, I get to help in the kitchen with the Ladies Auxiliary. I'm offering some of my Canvas skills with some veterans to put together some of their stories. Overseeing community events, and of course, being the Poppy Chair. Giving back while you can is what is needed and what is to be done. I know that this community is filled with souls who have years and years of skills. I ask you please to consider one of the many opportunities that Petrolia has. The time that you commit is up to yourself. The level of your commitment is up to you. But the future of this organization's to continue to be here to provide services to make P-Town the wonderful small town that it is with the big hearts is up to us. So I thank you all very much for your kindness and this undue recognition. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Deborah Walker, I just want to make sure, have you received one of my pens and pins?
Oh, my gosh.
My budget was. No, okay. Well, I just
Oh, my gosh.
to have one here.
Just happens to have just.
Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, you're welcome.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Chad.
welcome. Congratulations.
Thought you guys were the
Barista.
Oh, my.
That was for you, Joel.
Yeah, I know.
All right, that'll take us now for the first opportunity for anyone wishing to address council. Is there anyone wishing to address council at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to number 18. We have a report from Mandy Pearson, Director of Legislative Services, Clerk, Deputy Operations, regarding the County Board of Health West Nile larvicide annual authorization. And there's a motion before you. I'll ask for a mover and a second to put that on the floor. Moved by Deputy Mayor Field, seconded by Councillor Clark. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the council of the town of Petrolia to approve the Lambton County Board of Health proceeding with the West Nile larviciding program in Petrolia for 2026. And that Mandy Pearson, Director of Legislative Services, Clerk, be authorized to sign the County of Lambton authorization request.
Thank you. And Mrs. Pearson, do you have anything you'd like to add before I call the vote?
Let's get rid of those skeeters.
I'm all in favor of that. All right, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us on. We have now a report from Mr. Rick Charlebois, CEO Treasurer, regarding the 2025 some major town achievements. I'll ask for a mover and a seconder to put that on the floor for discussion. Moved by Councillor Wells, seconded by Councillor Hyatt. Any discussion from council? I just want to thank Mr. Charlebois for doing this. I think it's great to have that every year, just to remind us of some of the good things that we are getting done. Deputy Mayor Field, go ahead.
Yeah, through you, I too want to thank you for this list. You know, every year you do it, we don't realize how many things happen during the year, how many things that we were involved in, and how many things that staff are doing for us and for the town. So these are a lot of projects, and everyone should be very proud of all the achievements for the year. So Congratulations to you and your staff.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Field, and thank you, Mr. Charlebois. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and file the CAO Treasurer Report dated the 23rd day of March, 2026, regarding some of the town's major 2025 achievements.
Before I call the vote, I'll ask Mr. Charlebois if he has anything he'd like to add.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just want to mention thanks to council for having our strategic plan. And as you can tell from this report, we tried to just talked about the major events. There's a lot more stuff that goes on every day in, day out. But we linked it to our strat plan. And thanks very much to Larissa for helping lead that, and to all the staff for accomplishing all the stuff we've been able to accomplish.
Thank you, Mr. Charlebois. I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us on now. We have a report from Mrs. Mandy Pearson, Director of Legislative Services, Clerk, Deputy Operations, and Larissa Ellsworth, Director of Marketing, Arts and Communication, regarding the municipal-wide Shred Day event. Now, there is a motion before you. I'll ask for a mover and a second to put that on the floor first. Moved by Councillor Wells, second by Deputy Mayor Field. And Mrs. Pearson, do you have something you'd like to add?
Yes, Your Worship. So I have received a friendly amendment for that motion, which does fit the intent of the motion. So it can be considered as an amendment.
Okay.
And that amendment came from Councillor Hyatt. I just got to find it on my, there it is. And that amendment came from Councillor Hyatt. And he has two this evening. Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Hyatt. This is for the amendment now.
So we will amend to include, and that the Council of the Town of Petrolia requests Lambton County to consider adding Shred Day events to the scheduled household hazardous waste collection events in calendar 2025.
Okay, so that's an amendment to the motion. I'll need a seconder for that amendment, seconded by Councillor Wells. All right, we'll discuss the amendment. Any discussion regarding the amendment? No discussion. I'll call the vote. All those in favor of the amendment? That's carried. Now we have a motion before you that will be as amended. We have a mover and a second. I'll ask the clerk to read that, please.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and endorse as amended the report of the Director of Legislative Services Clerk and the Director of Marketing, Arts and Communications dated March 23rd, 2026 regarding an annual community shred day event, and that council approve option A for a Saturday shred day event to be conducted at the cost of $22,260, including HST.
Thank you. Any discussion from council regarding that motion as amended? If not, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. That'll move us on to the a report from Mrs. Mandy Pearson, Director of Legislative Services Clerk, Deputy Operations, regarding a change of council meeting date in June 2026. I'll ask for a mover and a second to put that on the floor for discussion. Moved by Councillor Patel, seconded by Councillor Hyatt. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive the report as presented by Mandy Pearson, Director of Legislative Services Clerk, regarding an update to the 2026 council calendar dates, and that the 2026 council meeting be rescheduled to take place on June 11th, 2026.
Thank you. And I think that's self-explanatory. Any questions from council? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us again. We have another report from Mrs. Mandy Pearson. I'll just call her the clerk this time, regarding the 2026 election restricted acts after nomination day, in quotation marks, lame duck. I'll ask for a mover and a seconder to put that on the floor for discussion. Moved by Councillor Wells, seconded by Councillor Hyatt. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
That is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and file the report of the Director of Legislative Services Clerk, Deputy Operations, dated March 23rd, 2026, regarding the 2026 election and what's considered restricted acts after nomination day, commonly known as lame duck.
Any discussion from council? Mrs. Pearson, would you like to add anything?
Yay.
I think it's pretty well self-explanatory too. All right. I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. That'll take us now to the quarterly bylaw enforcement report from Jessica Vandenberg, Property Standards and Bylaw Enforcement Officer. We do have a report and a motion before you. I'll ask for a move and a second to put that on the floor for discussion. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Hyatt. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to receive and file the December 2025 through February 2026 proactive bylaw enforcement report from Jessica Vandenberg, our property standards and bylaw enforcement officer.
Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. And I do want to state, I am really pleased to see that. And I'd like to pass on, if you would pass on, Mrs. Pearson, thanks to Mrs. Vandenberg for continuing to do that. My concern is to let the public know we do have bylaw enforcement taking place in this town, and it's working very well.
I will, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. And do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
okay,
Not
thank
this
you.
time. Thank you.
Council, any frost time, any questions? I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Okay, that'll take us to finance. Report from Mr. Rick Charlebois, CEO Treasurer, regarding the update to the Town of Petrolia financial policy. I'll ask for mover to second to put that on the motion, that on the floor for discussion first, please. Moved by Councillor Wells, seconded by Councillor Patel. I'll ask the clerk, do you have anything you'd like to add on that as far as?
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, on this item, I do have a received amendment as well that does fit the consistency from Councillor.
Do you have that you'd like to read, please?
Yeah, sorry. So I guess it's replacing the center section of the presented recommendation, and that would be, and that the budget stabilization reserve of 130K be eliminated and 100% of the funds be transferred to the operating tax reduction reserve.
Okay, I'll pass that down, and I'm going to get, I'll need a seconder for that amendment, please. So that's asking basically 100%. Is there a seconder for that? There's no seconder, that'll die on the floor. Okay, that'll die on, okay. Are
I'll
you going to
second it
second
so
it?
we can discuss it.
Okay, so it's now seconded by Deputy Mayor Field. I'll open it up for discussion. Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Field.
I'd like to ask through you to our CAO to see what his opinion on how that's going to impact us.
Mr. Charlebois, could you speak to that, please?
Certainly, through you, Your Worship. The big financial pressure we have is always going to be on our working and capital reserve that pays for town general capital. But for this one-time transaction, I think would work if.
Is it, just to clarify, is this a one-time transaction? It is, eh?
Yeah, so we're taking the existing reserve, which is
Yeah.
the budget stabilization reserve, which has been allocated for operating expenses.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
That was the real intent. You're
Right.
correct. Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's why I believe that it should be put into the operating reserve, because that's what its original intention is.
All right. Any further discussion from council? So what we're going to do then, remember, we vote on the amendment first. So I have a move and a seconder. Is everyone clear on the amendment? Okay, all those in favor of the amendment? 1, 2, 3. Opposed, that motion carries. Okay, now we have a motion before you. I'll ask the clerk to read that. We do have a move and a seconder, but I'll have it read before we vote on it, please.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to adopt the report of the CAO Treasurer dated the 23rd of March, 2026 regarding the updating of the town's financial policy, and that the budget stabilization reserve, $130,000, be eliminated by, and 100% of the funds be transferred to the operating tax reduction reserve, and that council approves the updated financial policy as amended.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Hyatt.
Of one question through you. The question is that if we approve increasing the main reserve balances to $1 million, can we confirm that the path forward for building the reserve funds will be a staged approach and not lead to significant rate increases for the next council to manage?
Mr. Charlebois, would you speak to that? please?
Yeah, through your worship. Yeah, that definitely would be the approach. Our water reserve actually should reach $1 million in the reserve by 2027, 2028 at the latest. Our sewer reserve will take us probably at least 5 years to get there. but it would be a balanced approach. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, any discussion from council? Again, we've already had it read. I'll call the vote. All those in favor of that motion as amended? Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. That'll take us on. We have a report from Mr. Rick Charlebois, CEO Treasurer, regarding the 2025 audit. We'll ask for a move and a seconder to put that motion on the floor for discussion. Please, Deputy Mayor Field, seconded by Councillor Welsh. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the council of the town of Petrolia to receive and file the report of the deputy treasurer, finance manager dated the 23rd of March, 2026 regarding the 2025 audit.
Thank you. Any discussion from council? Mr. Charlebois, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Just that this is the engagement letter and a bit of a presentation from MNP, our auditors, and as that we're at the earlier meeting, our deputy treasurer mentioned how it's a lot more work. It's a much bigger company, and there's more and more rules on the financial aspects of a municipality. And as stated here in the note, because our cemetery assets are over $500,000 now, we have to get an additional detailed audit on the cemetery, and this will be the first time this year, and it's about another $5,000 plus a bunch of staff time.
Thank you, Mr. Charlebois. I am concerned about an additional $5,000 to audit the cemetery. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Mrs. Pearson?
I'm getting beat up all over with all these words tonight.
We just want to make sure you're listening.
Yes, I think I can speak on the deputy treasurer and I, on behalf of us, that we do manage the cemetery in a very tight financial way. I don't expect anything to be found from this audit. It is a requirement under the provincial's new bereavement authority of Ontario.
Okay, thank you. Did we read that motion, Mrs. Pearson?
We did, your worship, yes.
Okay, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us now on to marketing, arts, and communication. We have a report from Mrs. Larissa Ellsworth, Director of Marketing, Arts, Communication, regarding the Victoria Hall renovation update. I'll ask for a move and a seconder to put that motion on the floor for discussion. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Welsh. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the council of the town of Petrolia to endorse the report of the Director of Marketing, Arts, and Communication dated March 23rd, 2026 regarding the Victoria Hall renovation update, and that the request of up to $500,000, depending on grant approvals, be approved so this project can progress.
Thank you. Any discussion from council? Councillor Hyatt, go ahead.
Thank you, through you. Just a question. If we approve this before actually spending any of the money, it will come back to council for a decision.
If we receive funding or grant funding, yes.
We approve up to $500,000. Can the process start, or will any of the information have to come back to council before we make that decision?
Like to speak to that, Miss? Oh, would you like to speak, Mrs. Ellsworth? Do you want to speak to that?
Sure, through you,
Go ahead.
your worship, thank you. It would actually allow us to proceed with a groundbreaking on the public facing side of the project. I say that for those that maybe don't know, there's the two sides, one that's going to benefit artists and staff and one that'll benefit the public. It would allow us to break ground, show some progress to the public, and
It's phased in, so that's,
start
yeah.
moving.
Mr. Charlebois, go ahead.
Just through you, worship, just want to add any contract over $50,000 comes back to council for procurement authority. So the contract, once we have a contractor all lined up, that would come back to council.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Charlebois.
That would just let us go with the tender, your worship. Yeah.
Councillor Hyatt?
Just a second question through you is, this is a pretty large sum of money. So why wasn't it presented as part of the budget, or the Strong Mayor's budget package?
That's a good question. Mrs. Ellsworth, do you want to start with that?
Sure, through you, your worship. We have been looking at funding from every resource possible. I've written close to $11 million in requests, and we're just not hearing back in a timely manner. And so for us, this would allow us to continue moving forward without holding ourselves up longer. Because what's going to happen is if we have to wait too long to go to tender and obtain those results, we won't be able to start in the winter when we need to, so that it will affect the 27 season negatively.
I think this is a great kickstart for us and for the community as well. Any other discussion from council? All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. That'll take us on now to the Parks and Recreation. Mrs. Julie Bullock, Director of Parks, Recreation Facilities, regarding the road closure request for the library summer reading launch party. You have a motion before you. I'll ask for a mover and a seconder to put that on the floor for discussion. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Welsh. I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to adopt the report of the Director of Parks, Recreation and Facilities dated March 23rd, 2026 regarding the road closure request for the Lambton County Library event, and that the road listed above be approved for closure on the date and times as listed, and that public notification be issued by the Director of Legislative Services Clerk and Deputy Operations.
Thank you. Before I call the vote, Mrs. Bullock, do you have anything you'd like to add?
This is the second year this event's going to be happening, and the library staff were so happy with last year. They just really want to host it again. So that's about it.
Thank you. All right, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. That'll also take us on to a report from Mrs. Julie Bullock, Director of Parks, Recreation Facilities, regarding the Petrolia and Enniskillen Agricultural Society Fall Fair approvals. Now you have a motion before you. I'll ask for a mover and a seconder to put that on the floor for discussion. Moved by Councillor Hyatt, seconded by Deputy Mayor Field. And I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
And that is for the Council of the Town of Petrolia to adopt the report of the Director of Parks, Recreation and Facilities dated March 23rd, 2026 regarding the Petrolia and Enniskillen Agricultural Society Fall Fair approvals, and that Council approve the request to grant significant event status to the Petrolia and Enniskillen Agricultural Society Fall Fair as detailed in the report, and that the Council of the Town of Petrolia grants the Petrolia and Enniskillen Agricultural Society an exemption to Noise Bylaw 61 of 2029 for the Fall Fair as detailed in the report, and that the clerk be directed to produce confirmation of the same for application to the AGCO.
Thank you. Now you know why we need a drink. I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. This brings us now to the second opportunity for anyone wishing to address council. Is there anyone here wishing to address council? Great, welcome.
Heather Wright, 435 Greenfield Street. I just wanted to make you aware that in the last probably 3 weekends, I've noticed four-wheelers in town on roads. And perhaps someone could notify the OBP and have them watch out for it, since it is illegal.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Were they licensed or unlicensed? Oh, no, it's still, okay. We can pass that on. Thank you for coming to address council. Anyone else wishing to address council at this time? Being none, we'll move on to other business or items under the strong mayor's powers. We have a notice of motion from Councillor Liz Wells that will be dealt with on April the 13th. And I think that's the only one. I guess I'll ask council, do we have any other business? If not, we'll move on to the bylaws. I'll ask for a motion to have the bylaws read dealt with first and second time. Moved by Councillor Wells, seconded by Deputy Mayor Field. Any discussion? All those in favor of having those bylaws read first and second time? Opposed? That motion carries. And I'll ask for a motion to have the bylaws read a third time, finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered. I'll need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Deputy Mayor Field. And I will ask the clerk to read those bylaws, please.
And that is for bylaw number 13 of 2026, being a bylaw to delegate authority to the Chief Administrative Officer for certain acts during a lame duck period, be read a third time and finally passed. That bylaw number 14 of 2026, being a bylaw to appoint a Community Emergency Management Coordinator, CEMC, for the Corporation of the Town of Petrolia, be read a third time and finally passed. That bylaw number 15 of 2026, being a bylaw to appoint an alternate Community Management Community Emergency Management Coordinator, the alternate CEMC for the corporation of the town of Petrolia, be read a third time and finally passed. That bylaw number 16 of 2026 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 63 of 2017, the comprehensive zoning bylaw for the properties known municipally as 262 and 270 Eureka Street, be read a third time and finally passed. That bylaw number 17 of 2026 being a bylaw authorizing the execution of a contract for service agreement between Denise Tebow and the corporation of the town of Petrolia with respect to the provision of downtown business liaison services, be read a third time and finally passed. And that bylaw number 18 of 2026 being a bylaw of the corporation of the town of Petrolia to confirm the resolutions and motions of the council of the town of Petrolia, which were updated and including March 23rd, 2026, be read a third time and finally passed.
Any discussion from council? Councillor Hyatt.
Just a question on the next steps after bylaw 16, 2026, which is the zoning bylaw amendment. What's the next steps for that project?
Would you like to speak to that?
Yes.
The planning part? Go ahead,
Certainly,
Mrs.
Your Worship.
Pearson.
Yeah, so what happens is we will provide this notice of passing to the county. The county will proceed with everything, and once our approval authority there, they will provide back the full amendment to our comprehensive zoning, and the project can proceed with those outlined amendments.
I think there's still a number of issues to be dealt with, but. Yeah. All right, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. And just before I call a vote for adjournment, I do just want to mention on behalf of council and staff, I want to wish everyone a happy and safe Easter. And I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Deputy Mayor Field, seconded by Councillor Patel. And I'll ask the clerk to read that motion, please.
That is for the March 23rd, 2026 regular meeting of council of the town of Petrolia be adjourned to the next regular scheduled meeting of council to be held on Monday, April the 13th, 2026, or at call to the chair.
All those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Have a good night.